Hello everyone, and welcome back to the entertaining but super tragic Comic Vault. I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
Today, Eric and I are going to talk some more Tom King Batman. We have read all of Tom King from the end of War of Jokes and Riddles up through the wedding issue. And Eric and I have actually talked about the wedding issue before. We both read it, but we didn't read any of the in-between stuff. So we have, I'm sure both of us, a very different perspective on this now. And we're actually going to get to talk about it with all of the context.
I'm going to refer to this trilogy. So, like, you have, like, the I Am Batman trilogy, and then you have War Jokes and Riddles, and then you have these three books. I'm going to refer to these three books as the courtship of Damien's father.
Of Damien's father?
Yeah.
Why are we putting it that way?
Because the courtship of Eddie's father was a TV show?
Oh, sorry, I didn't even know what you were doing there.
Bruce,
I've never heard of that. Oh! Sorry, that went way over my head. I was like, Damien's not even a big deal in this. What are you talking about?
Well, because I was going to call it the courtship of Batman, and I was like, oh, and then, like, in my head, like, I thought of courtship of Eddie's father, and then I was like, courtship of Damien's father. There we go. So it's a fun little pop culture. I'm sure no one else knows that.
Good job. Well done.
I only know it because they use a clip from that show in Incredible Hulk. That's their Bill Bixby.
So when you say trilogy, you have it collected in 3 trades. I have all of the single issues, as I just showed a second ago. So I wasn't even thinking of this as being in 3 parts at all, even though
because it's like 5 stories.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like there are, I guess, like 3 kind of like bigger stories, but then there's a couple of smaller things in between too, and there's like even like a one-shot here and there, right? Because you have that Origin Bruce Wayne issue.
And you have the one...
Which is actually the Origin Bruce Wayne.
Where Catwoman steals her wedding dress.
Yeah, and that's a one-and-done as well.
No.
All, of course, very intrinsically connected to the A-plot with Batman and Catwoman getting close to getting married. Spoiler alert, that doesn't happen. And also the
internet's already exploded and moved on from that.
Yes, and also the thematic ideas, particularly that Bruce Wayne cannot be happy in order to be Batman. I would call this, if this is a trilogy, I would call this the Batman Can't Be Happy trilogy.
It's with this run of issues, Tom King is writing superhero comics the way superhero comics used to be written.
Yes.
Where, like, there's, like, 2-parters and 3-parters and one-shots, and, like, it's just...
And he's done some of that earlier also. And, we haven't even talked about everything. It's like, we skipped the button, or is that after this?
No, we skipped the button. I never read that, because it was... It's not collected in the trades. You have to go buy a separate trade.
Right. No, but I think there's even another, like, single story or couple issues that we didn't read because they weren't part of the I Am trilogy. And I think there's something right after I Am before you get to...
Oh, there's that Swamp Thing thing I never read. That's 2-part Swamp Thing thing I never read. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. He's already been doing some of that.
Yeah. But it's not as prevalent as it is in these 3 trades.
Right.
Where it's just...
I mean,
there's no... Like, he's not writing for the trade when he's writing these.
No, and it's great. And I would make the argument that through... those several stories, there is an arc.
No, there is. Absolutely. Like I think this is a chunk of, like, if his Batman if his Batman is broken up into arcs, I think this is an arc, but not in the traditional modern comic sense of it.
Oh, and for a second I thought that Wonder Woman story was 1 issue, but it's 2.
It might be 3.
No, I think it's just 2.
Okay.
Because she goes to get him. And then he puts on armor, and she says he looks silly in armor, and then they go over to the other dimension. Yeah, it doesn't suit their gender.
Yeah.
And then they go over to the other dimension, and then you think they're going to make out, and then they resist that, and then the whole rest of the next issue is them living 37 years in that.
It's one of my biggest complaints in the whole run of issues.
I liked it on its own as a piece.
No, I mean that they don't get together.
That they don't get together?
They don't know time's diluted.
No, yes they do.
No, they don't.
Okay, go ahead.
They, like, Catwoman finds out from that guy, she's like, wait a second, you didn't tell them that time passes differently.
Oh, you're right, that was given to her and not them at all.
They think 30 years has passed. That's insane that Batman stays chased for that long.
See, I thought he did that because he knew they were going to get back.
He didn't.
If he doesn't, I gotta go back and reread that. I thought for some reason he knew they were going to get back.
Okay.
I gotta look at that again.
Okay.
I gotta look at that again because because I thought of that and I was like, I buy it okay if he knows that. Now, this is maybe asking for too much. I would have, in a place or two after that, had places where Batman couldn't remember things because it was like 40 years ago, and Catwoman would be like, it just happened last. Oh, that's right, you were in that other dimension. I wanted a scene or two like that.
Yeah.
And we never got that, and we kind of just forget that happens. It's a little too easy. Like, after being in that universe for
there's no readjustment period
for that long, he needs to go on vacation for a month. Like, it's ridiculous that he comes just right back in his Batman again.
Well, okay, so what bothers me about the not sleeping with Wonder Woman thing is that he comes back and he's like Matt Murdock, where like he just has like the weight of the world on his shoulders. Where she says, "Were you bad?" And he says, "No, but I wasn't good enough." I was like, you thought you were stuck there for 30 years and she didn't know, and you didn't know, and like. If he'd slept with Wonder Woman, there's nothing. He didn't do anything wrong in that situation, in my mind.
So, I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
My problem with the end of that, I didn't mean to start here.
Yeah,
my problem with the end of that issue is not Batman, it's Catwoman. Because the way you describe it is not exactly how it is.
Okay.
She says, maybe I should get it out and get the exact quotes. Can you find it real quick? You might be able to find it faster than me with my singles.
Yeah, because it's the first arc, second. Oh, there's a one shot with that kid, the creepy kid.
Yeah, that's the Origin of Bruce Wayne issue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I forgot that there was a creepy kid.
Okay, can I see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to read you how this actually ends. So, so he says, I have to tell you something, a moment, and then she says, 37 years a Wonder Woman, were you bad? And he says, not bad, but not good enough. Now, I'm with you. Like he's not giving himself enough credit there, because like not good enough. You almost kissed her, but you didn't. Like
in 37 years.
Yeah, your lips got this close. Frankly, since it happened in the first few days you were there, I'm surprised you even remember it. And then
it's like 12 years in.
And then is it that far in?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember. And then she says okay, and then he says this is new, but I'm trying, and she says yes, well try harder. I don't like that. My issue is more with Catwoman.
Sure.
If he hadn't slept with her, she should have been like, well, I kind of like it, but like I understand, you know, or something. But like they didn't even sleep together. She just said, and he just says like I wasn't bad, but I wasn't like I don't know. He's being vague, so maybe she's assuming that.
That makes more sense if they know that there's time dilation, and the way I read it, they did not, because at the very least, Catwoman doesn't know there's time dilation. I guess if they know going in, but I felt like it was treated like he was lying. Because she immediately starts rushing him back. He's like, and she was like, wait, how long are they be there? You say hi to the woman you're in love with, and then it's revealed that he's not thousands of years old. He went in here last year.
Okay, but I thought the idea was that Wonder Woman knew. And I thought maybe she had dealt with him before, because she said, like, at some point he's going to come back and ask for help again. And Catwoman was like, I'll be there next time and I'll come help with you. You remember?
Well, because he needs a break sometimes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if Wonder Woman knows him, wouldn't she know about the time dilation? I thought she's been there before.
Okay, so what we're told at the beginning of that is that Batman and Wonder Woman like stumbled into that dimension at some point and told that.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's holding back all of the sins of humanity.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you ever need a break, we'll take over for a little bit. I don't think either of them know there's time dilation.
But he has the whole explanation about like why he doesn't about how like he doesn't age.
I think we get that after. Or,
okay, I'd have to go back
or just in that dimension, he doesn't age. But I don't think they know about the time dilation. Because it's a reveal that he's not thousands of years old. He's been there for like a year.
Okay, well, I don't mean to argue about it. I gotta go back and look at it.
What I do like about that story, because we'll just talk about this story and then go back through, I guess, all the stories. I guess
so, yeah.
What I do like about the story is we do this with a couple of stories where we do like a metaphorical part of a relationship, and I like this as the female friend. This is the super examination of, okay, but your boyfriend is good friends with an attractive woman.
The platonic friend, yeah.
Yes. I like that as an exploration of that. On Catwoman's side, I have questions about the actual the text versus the subtext.
Yeah.
Because we do the same thing with like hang out with the best friend with Superman hang out with the best friend and his girlfriend. Like we do that really well.
Yeah. it's maybe one of the best issues of Batman I've ever read ever.
Yeah, no, they're really good.
That is, by the way.
Oh, and Talia's the ex-girlfriend. Talia's exploring the ex-girlfriend.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Sure. That was a good point. I didn't think to break it down like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course. That's the issue that I had Tom King sign when I met him.
That's awesome.
Because I love it so much.
I also like it's called Double Date and it's a 2-parter.
Yep. That's fun.
Yep.
But anyway, so I don't know. Do you want to just like now start at that first arc and kind of move forward, or do you want to talk about it more broadly?
We just kind of briefly go through each arc and then kind of talk about the relationship of the whole thing and with issue 50.
Mm-hmm.
So the first arc with Talia, I like. It's also the one I remember the least because it was.
Me too.
It's the furthest.
I don't think
back
it needs to
read.
be 3 issues. I think it's a little longer than it needs to be.
I felt like that with the Poison Ivy issue too. With
Me
the Poison
too.
Ivy story arc too.
Me too.
Yeah.
But he probably felt like that should be longer just because it actually technically is a really broad scoping kind of story. Like when
Almost
Poison Ivy,
too big.
I think so too. When Poison Ivy takes over the whole world with at least anybody who eats vegetables.
Yep.
If you eat vegetables, you're under her control. That was really powerful Poison Ivy.
I feel like the Talia thing is like built up really, really big for not the most amazing payoff.
Yeah.
Where it's like no one's allowed here, like, oh, and then you find out it's Talia. And, like the Robins go there. I don't like that we only ever use the Robins to just like comment on Batman. Like he doesn't write Batman Robin stories.
No.
Robins sit around and talk about Batman and their relationship to Batman. Because like the Robins all go, or it's just Damien and Dick go to Manda Parbat or wherever we are.
I also thought their dialogue was a little overwritten. That is it that arc, that whole business where Damien says because he's Batman and I'm Robin and Dick thinks that's silly and he just won't stop talking about it. I got sick of that.
Yeah, I did too.
That was not as funny as he thought it was.
No. Well, I mean, knowing who Damien is, and how serious he is, I could kind of it'd be like if Batman said something like that, kind of. But like, sometimes it forgets how heightened the world it is.
Well, and I sometimes think that Tom King expects people have read arcs that I don't even know if they count anymore, because that read like an exchange that you're only supposed to really appreciate if you read Morrison's Batman and Robin, and because you had that because you had a nice moment with them where he was like, it's always me and you because of that run. And I didn't read much of that stuff, and I don't like Damien, and I don't care.
I mean, I cared.
I
did think that joke got a little.
But that joke got old.
I don't think it bothered me as much as it seems to have bothered you.
Well, I'm just saying it wasn't as funny as he thought it was.
But I also like that we set this up. So this is the first arc of this this set of stories,
right?
And it's kind of the one that plays into the ending the most.
Yeah. The most?
It's
because the Joker story is pretty important for that.
Thematically, but this is
okay. I thought you meant thematically.
This is where they get Catwoman's friend, who's going to be the straw that breaks Campbell's back.
Yeah, and you don't realize that we're setting up any plot stuff because it feels like. Again, not thematically, but it feels story-wise like we're meandering until we get to we're just telling a bunch of different random stories. You're right. This is bookended with the larger story that he's been doing since the I Am trilogy. That's where it all comes full circle. Which I have questions about.
I do too.
When we get to the end of that, I don't entirely buy the Holly thing.
Okay,
we're gonna have to talk about that.
Okay.
Or I should say, yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I actually have 2 big questions for that.
I just want to see. Okay. So I like the Talia story. Who's the artist on this one? He's my least favorite. Because we jumped through a bunch of different artists. Whoever draws this one, they pop up a bunch. I don't dislike them. They're my least favorite artist on this run.
Sure. Yeah, none of it's bad.
No,
and it's never too obnoxiously jarring. Especially because since the beginning, he's been working with different artists. If Tom King had a regular artist, this would be more annoying. But he jumps around a lot.
Then we have the 2-parter with Superman and Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
Which is just delightful.
It's the best. But real quick, we should.
It's called Superfriends.
Yeah, I just want to go back for a second and mention the sword fight with Talia and Catwoman, which I like quite a bit.
I do too. I also like them sitting. I also like when they're sitting it out, and they're just commenting on the fight happening.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of fun.
But you're right. Like it's weird that that's the climax of that whole thing, because it really is kind of just them going there to tell her that he's getting married.
Yeah, I think that arc might have my favorite Batwoman-Catwoman banter. It might have that.
Your favorite what now?
Batman and Catwoman banter.
Okay.
Like, the back and forth between the two of them feels like a couple. And it feels like a couple that's, like, kicking ass. Like, I really like how they're, like, making fun of each other while they do it. I really like that stuff. I really buy that stuff. It's, like, it's really believable to me as a couple.
Also believable, segueing into the next arc, is how we get in just a couple of issues from Batman and Superman are having a hard time even speaking together to their best friends again and their significant others come to really appreciate and respect each other and become friends. I was really impressed with how fast we got all that done. And those relationships are all just wonderful.
Something I hope we deal with, and I don't know if we will because it's a Batman book, is I want the Lois Lane having to deal with I'm not going to get to see her again because she was my husband's friend's girlfriend.
Yeah, I hope they get an issue at some point.
I do, too.
Where they sit down and talk again, because they bonded really well. You wouldn't think that in just a couple issues you could get Lois Lane and Catwoman, like sitting down and laughing together, and one leaning on the other one's shoulder, and they had never met before.
And you believe it completely.
And you completely believe. I love it. I love those characters together.
Yep.
I would read a mini-series about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it would be wonderful. The costume swap thing is delightful. I've talked about this before, but one of my favorite lines in his entire run now is the bat stands for a bat. I never stop laughing about it. I think it's so funny.
I also like when they call back later where she goes, "Did you tell him that the bat stands for a bat?"
Stands for a bat! He said it before! Yeah, it's so funny.
The one thing I don't buy in those two is that Lois Lane's not wearing a costume, so Catwoman wears Lois Lane's clothes.
Right.
And she just leans close to the guy and says, "Meow."
And that lets her in because she's being sexy and...
Yeah. I don't like that meow thing. That's the one thing he does with Catwoman. Now
I don't care for it either.
I don't know about that.
Now, I like it in the future.
Yeah.
When we get to the Booster Gold story and she doesn't talk and she only says meow...
Yes. That's
Catwoman,
great.
That's awesome.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And I don't mind.
But I wish we hadn't done it until then because it works there and it doesn't necessarily.
I don't mind the meow as sexy pet talk between Bruce and it's that sometimes it does feel like they're using it like dialogue. And I'm like, what am I supposed to get?
There are places where it kind of reads like, I didn't have anything else to say now.
Yeah.
And you remember, and I know you like this more than me, and I'm coming around on it some, but I felt that way sometimes with the hell yeah thing with Kite Man. It's her hell yeah.
It is her hell yeah.
And it's overused.
It is overused. Kite Man's in these runs somewhere, right?
Kite Man shows up
once.
Once, yeah.
Oh,
you know where it is? It's in the wedding issue. He fights him on a roof at the beginning.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Then we have what issue is this?
What issue is what?
This next it's.
Oh, what issue number is it?
Yeah.
Is
what
that
issue
you're
is
asking?
this? Yeah.
That would be 38 because that's right after the double date issue, which we could talk a lot more about, but we should keep moving. I suppose.
38 might be one of my favorite issues of any comic book ever.
Ooh, I didn't like it that much.
I cried.
I didn't care for it.
Okay, I cried.
Okay, good.
Not like sobbing.
Talk about it.
So, also, I think Lee Weeks, who's the artist for this issue, might be my favorite artist of the issues.
The art is great in that. Absolutely.
So it's Batman Catwoman love story, or it's kind of Batman Catwoman love story, but it goes to them being old. And Bruce is dying of some kind of unknown disease.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You didn't read this?
I must not have read that one.
Oh.
Wait, can I see that for a second?
Yeah. I
don't know what issue that is. Because...
Is it like a one-shot, or is it an annual?
I don't know what this is either.
That's the same issue.
Oh, okay.
That's the beginning.
That's part of that? I'm sorry, give me a second. Okay, no, because 38 is the origin of Bruce Wayne. That's the kid that...
it lists
carves...
the issues on the back.
I thought you were saying your favorite issue was the kid carving Bruce Wayne
No,
himself, and I'm like, that's not that good.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see
what
it
it's Annual
is.
2, Batman Annual 2.
I didn't read that.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever read that.
Okay, so I'm going to spoil the crap out of this because it's amazing.
Can I go get it real quick?
Yes.
I know where it is.
Okay.
Oh, man, go ahead and start talking about it.
Okay, so it's the history of Batman and Catwoman as a love story. And he does that, it starts with their, first meeting or right after their first meeting.
I should have known this was important because it says date night / rights on the cover. I should have read this. Whoops.
Okay, so it tells the history of Batman and Catwoman's love story, starting from, almost the very beginning. And they're, playing with each other, and, she knows he's Bruce Wayne almost immediately and breaks into his house, and, it's a game. It's like a sexy game between the two of them, and, she calls the cops so that when she leaves, they're right there to catch her. So that he can't catch her. And then...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And she breaks in again and breaks into a safe, and the only thing he has in his safe is the pearls from his mom's necklace, and there's a whole thing about that. It keeps going to when Batman gets old, and is going to die of a mysterious... Oh, no, wait.
She's got the...
Wait, is that the last page? Or is there more? Okay, there's more.
No,
okay,
keep going. No, that's not the last page, but I just turned to this because she's wearing her animated series costume there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Does she have, multiple costumes through this?
She does, because it costs us time.
And that's the Year One costume.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
I think.
Or that might be the animated series costume.
No. No, that's the animated series costume.
Yeah. Is that what she was in that one page?
Maybe it is. I thought that was a tail. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so it goes to when they're old and Batman's dying of some unspecific disease. They have a Batwoman who is what do they call her? I think it's Kate. I think they refer to her as Kate.
Is that Kate Kane?
I think so. But why would it be Kane?
Well, she would be older.
I can't remember. Well, it's not Batwoman. It's their daughter. They have a daughter who takes over the mantle of the Bat. And
that's awesome.
He tells...
See, I always wonder... Okay, so this is the thing I always wondered. If we actually went through with this and they got married and then they eventually had a daughter, they wouldn't name her Helena, right? Because then they'd be naming her after Bertinelli, and that would be weird.
Yes.
So you can't do that?
So there's this moment where they're lying in bed where he tells her, there's another universe where there's a me that you and I didn't get married, and he didn't get old, and he didn't get fat, and he didn't get weak. Go find him when I die. So... Okay.
Wait, so does that sort of give away 50?
No, because they get married in this. Well...
That's not what I mean.
Oh,
I'm saying,
he's
saying, there's a universe where this doesn't happen, are you supposed to read it and be like, oh crap, that's our universe, and they're not going to get married?
You might be right.
Is that the idea?
You might be right. So, okay.
I didn't even read this.
I'm going to try and not cry when I talk about this.
I can't believe I didn't read this issue.
So he dies, and she says, good night, I love you. And she goes to the Batcave, and there's a note in the Batmobile to her that says, I love you too, Cat, from the first kiss to the last. And it's just her sitting in the car, alone. It's so good.
That's really good. And so he's giving you essentially what you think you were going to get, but we can't get this. See, I think with 50, I have a totally different appreciation for 50, and we'll get there. But I want to say this real quick. I think that through his run, Tom King is commenting a little bit about the medium.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a real over deconstructing kind of way, but he's finding interesting ways to tell stories within the limitations that he knows he has, because this is a serialized narrative about characters that can never be allowed to get too far away from a status quo. And so he finds interesting ways to break that status quo and then tragically gets us back to it, because you might want to see these characters get married, but if you do, you don't get Batman comics anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of respect for the way he's commenting about the medium that he's working in.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's not writing a novel. He's not allowed to get to an ending.
Mm-hmm.
It has to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do?
Yeah, but no, the idea that
I always like the rules of the comics of the comic narrative forced on the characters. I think that's really interesting.
But no, I love the idea that Batman is the master planner. So like, he knew that the last thing that Catwoman did. And he does that too. The thing that he loves to do, where you like turn a page and it's it's like a whole thing. So like, yeah, let me find it. So. Like, he's chasing...
Did you guys see that? I interrupted Eric by flipping pages.
Yeah. So, he's chasing her, and he does the thing he likes to do, where it's a double-page spread, but it's a dramatic double-page spread.
Yep, he does that a lot.
It's
not a big action spread.
No, I can't remember what it is. There's one point where I think he overuses it, and I don't think he earns it, but every other time, it's always like a gut punch. When you turn the page, you're like, oh... the first time I saw him do it was in War Jokes Riddles with the big room.
Yes.
Which was amazing.
Awesome.
But I love the idea that Batman thinks so far ahead that he knew that the last thing Catwoman would say to him was, I love you, and left a note that says, I love you too. Oh my god, I love that so much.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay.
I hate that I didn't read that. But yeah, no, Tom King feels like how a novelist would do comics.
Mm-hmm.
Where he finds ways to make the visual narrative work for like a character-driven thing.
And he wrote a novel.
He reads like a novelist to me. Especially because he's so slow burn and because all the action stuff happens in the background. Mm-hmm. He's just not interested in fights.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't care.
He is, but it's different. He's not interested in fights in the way that Bendis isn't interested in fights.
Well,
he's interested in conflict.
No, he'll have them happen.
Well, but I mean like the Bane stuff. Like,
yeah.
He's interested in conflict. He doesn't never do anything like Bendis does.
Yeah.
He's just not...
Okay, what I mean is, he's not interested in choreography.
I still feel like he is more... Because the way he lays out panels and stuff, and like it's across different artists, like that's him.
Yeah.
He's interested in choreography, again, more than Bendis. I don't think you're wrong, but when Bendis exists, I can't...
I'm not entirely right either, though. You're making a good point, yeah. So then we have that Origin of Bruce Wayne issue, which is not great.
No, because I don't know. It doesn't click for me, and I know he comes back.
It doesn't resonate
because there's a cover.
Oh, really?
Because there's a cover of a recent issue that has him on the cover, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I read the trade. So I know he comes back. It's kind of Hush again.
Yeah, it is. Especially because the stuff with his face.
I feel like it only makes sense if that kid knows he's Batman.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "I want Bruce Wayne's life."
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't know. It's the weakest issue of all.
And I think the point of it within the larger narrative and with the thematic ideas with this is supposed to be like looking at the perceptions of both Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like he can't be happy and be Batman, but then who is Bruce Wayne without Batman?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like
because this is how he dealt with his trauma.
Yeah, and like this kid. Doesn't see Bruce Wayne as a happy guy either, and I guess I don't know exactly what he's doing with it, but
I also thought Batman gave him like too much credit. Where he's like it's brilliant, but almost not. It's like something a kid would do, and I was like, I feel like it's both too smart for a kid, but also not sloppy enough. Well, I guess that's the same complaint.
He figured that out too easily.
Yeah. No, I didn't feel like it was too hard to like. He's not like a mastermind, this kid. I don't know. I didn't love that.
No, what I mean is he figured out it was a child too easily.
Well, it is that Independence Day like cold. Yes, of course, I'll give them a virus. It's almost literally that where like someone's like, it's like it's like a kid, and he's like, you're right, it's just like a child.
Well, no, he comes up with the childish thing because he says. He's all the killing of people. I blame it on Zaz, and then on Two-Face. Fundamentally, it's silly, almost childish.
I also don't think it's that silly.
I don't either. No.
That
was Englehart dialogue.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. And then with the Wonder Woman issues, and then we have.
Oh, that's right. He writes Thomas and Martha on his face.
Yes.
Which is weird because that's not his parents, right?
Nobody wants to be.
He wants to be Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Did he... I guess I'm not even totally remembering this because it just didn't resonate with me. Did he lose his parents or did he kill his own parents? See, I don't remember.
I think he loses his parents and he wants to be Bruce Wayne. But I feel like that only makes sense.
Right, because he has his own Alfred.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't love it.
I didn't love that.
But watch!
I was so confused when I thought that was your favorite issue.
But watch! When it's all... I cried. I cried.
I was like... She said, tell this one. Did you cry during BBS too? Why did you scroll that name on your face?
I just scroll both of them!
How do you know those names?
But I have this weird feeling, especially because I know he shows up in later issue, I'm like, this isn't going to be like one of those things like, he's the most important thing in the entire run, I'm to go back and reassess this issue, right?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that's just a dull follow-up to a dull issue.
Or a good follow-up to dull issue.
Well, sure,
I hope it's not like a crux of the run.
Keep going, yeah.
And then we have the Poison Ivy stuff, which feels way too big, but also
it's way too big.
One of those things where it's like, but I can't say she's not that powerful.
Yeah.
There was something, I can't remember exactly what it was. There was something...
I'm still looking for that Great Poison Ivy story, and after reading that, I'm still looking for that Great Poison Ivy story, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's one of the best Poison Ivy stories I've ever read, outside of... there's a good one, No Man's Land.
Because there's not saying a lot. I mean, there's not a lot of Great Poison Ivy stories. Oh, yeah, there is a good No Man's Land story.
There's a good No Man's Land story. But, I can't tell, because I read these a while back. I can't tell exactly what it is, but there was something that I thought was kind of meta-commentary on, like, some Batman villains are a little big for Batman.
Yeah.
I thought there was something about that. I really liked what he did with Harley.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was one of the best uses of Harley I've seen in a long time.
Yep.
That's my big commentary on the Ivy arc is it's a really good use of Harley.
Yeah, how important? I mean, I gotta go back and look at it. How important was that to the larger story here?
I would probably have to reread it again. My guess is it has something to do with relationships, and they learned something from it about couples and relationships.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That's my guess. And then, what is the next one?
Oh, well, yeah, because we talked about the Wonder Woman story.
Yeah.
That was actually right before that.
Yeah.
Just for anyone that doesn't know, that was right before the...
So there's
the Poison Ivy
another,
story.
like, History of Batman and Catwoman issue.
Yes.
That's not the annual. That's her stealing the dress.
Yes.
We do this with criminals a lot, with super criminals a lot, where it's like, thieving's not really a crime. Like, it's like taking gum. We're like if we...
Can I just jump real quick?
Yeah.
I just thought of this. With the Origin Bruce Wayne issue, and then the Poison Ivy thing, was Tom King just on a Hush kick? Had he just read Hush, and then, like, did the Hush thing, and then he's got, like, Superman being mind-controlled? Like, was he just on a Hush kick with Poison Ivy? Was he on a Hush kick?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Sorry.
We do this with theft in comics, which I guess maybe makes sense in, like, a world of superheroes, but, like, we treat it like it's... Like, if you and I went out to, like, a store or something, and we walked out and I was like, I stole gum. Like, you wouldn't be angry, but you'd be like, really? Why? Like, that's how we treat all theft in superhero comics. And that's kind of what we do with her stealing this, like, presumably $1,000 dress.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, that Catwoman. She's always stealing stuff. You can't take her entire personality from
Well,
her.
yeah, I mean, I think the point of that is, like, Batman's not going to totally change her, and he knows he can't, and he wouldn't love her if he did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The point of the Poison Ivy story is that they make a great team.
Yes.
That
yes.
is-
Oh, because teamwork.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the point of that
Yes.
story. Sorry.
Okay.
I had to go back and flip through that because I knew there was something.
Yes.
I couldn't remember what it was. But, because remember...
But also, they learn something about themselves by looking at relationship.
That too, sure. I don't want to take yours away from you. Mine might be more important than yours, but no, because remember he's got the antidote and he hits her with it.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And that she goes to Ivy and they have to like choreograph like within seconds that like she knocks out Ivy so that he can talk to Harley and like it's it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so rereading the Booster Gold issues.
Oh, I didn't reread. I didn't read them in the first place.
Well, you skipped them because they were Booster Gold?
I didn't skip them. I hadn't read anything past...
Oh, that's right.
I hadn't read...
You were pissed and complaining that Booster Gold was in Batman.
Because I didn't like him in other things I was reading. He showed up in everything all at once. He was in Tomasi Superman too, or Tomasi, I forget. He was in Superman right then, and like, or just before that. And I generally don't like Booster Gold. This story is really cool.
It's really cool.
I like it a lot. Booster Gold's an idiot, but that's the point. And I'm not supposed to entirely like him. He's just a moron. But I mean, like, he's a moron, but we get him to such an emotional place at the end, and I really buy it, and, like, it's really sad. Like, it's funny. I'm laughing at him and feeling bad for him at the same time when he was like, I got you a gift! And I'm like, this guy is not even the guy that you got the gift for because you changed time.
The idea that you would...
It makes no sense!
The idea that you would intentionally recreate for the man who has everything?
Yeah.
To try and get Batman to, like, love, like, care about his life more?
Oh, and didn't he actually... Wasn't that actually the idea? Because doesn't the flower thing come up somewhere?
He says that's where he got the idea.
He got the idea from.
He was like, yeah, but if you think about it, if you get away from like it kills you. It really did give him perspective on life. That seems.
He goes, there was this one time when there was a plant that last shot of Superman. He had a perfect life, but he realized it wasn't perfect, and that made it possible for him to come out. He's like, I wanted to do that as a gift for Batman for his wedding. But with time travel.
Yeah.
It's really dumb. Booster Gold. I'm not saying the story is dumb. See, Tom King is so good at character-driven fiction. He goes, what would this character do? That's what that character would do. And he does that. And here's what I don't get. Booster Gold logic. You're gonna see, this is not me complaining about Tom King. This is Tom King going, this makes no sense, but it's what Booster Gold would do. He's gonna go back in time, and he's gonna save Bruce Wayne's parents because he knows that the world will be messed up without Batman. So when then he goes to the future to show Bruce Wayne that the world is bad without him being Batman, and so he'll like thank him or whatever, but he won't because he doesn't know what he was like. How's that a gift? When you fix it, he's not gonna remember anything. I don't see how that's a gift.
Think it through.
It is, hands down, the most entertaining arc of the entire series. It's not my favorite. It's the most entertaining. I had so much fun reading it. You know what my favorite part was? Batman Returns Catwoman suit, dude. So cool. No, it's so cool. I Best use of it ever.
And I love that he's like, look, I'm not good at this, so like there might be some like visible stitches, and it's just the returns Catwoman
with a full page spread. It looks so good.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments.
Oh, it's so good.
Mr. Gold yells a lot of things.
Yes.
He like speaks in like exclamation points. Is in issue 3 he comes back and he's talking to Skeets and he goes, "I was crazy," and then Skeets goes, "Did you get better?" He goes, "I don't know. Probably not."
Yeah, that was great.
No, it's a really, really fun,
alternate
okay,
E3.
Here's my problem with it as part of the run, though.
Okay, go ahead.
What do Batman and Catwoman gain from it?
I don't think it's for them. I think it's for us.
Okay.
I think the point of that arc is just to do a crazy future arc.
That's fine. That's fine. That's what it is. That's fine.
But I think
and we used to do stuff like that all the time.
But the point is,
he's writing
it's just the thematic idea that Batman can't be happy. It's just that.
Is that the first time we really
It's driving that point home before we get to it with the Joker. That's the point of it.
Okay.
Is we see Batman happy.
So that's why it's part of the run.
And I think, because he riffs on animated series stuff here and there, I think it's his riff on Perchance to Dream.
I think so too. I also thought
that's what he's doing. He's
because I think Perchance to Dream is their riff on For the Man Who Has Everything,
which I didn't think of. But you're right. But I saw that first, so I never thought of it.
Same here.
But yeah, because we were kids, and I was like 8, and I saw that, and I thought it was amazing. But this is like if it actually really happened and it wasn't in his mind, right? And so if you haven't read it. Bruce Wayne's parents. Yeah. I don't think anybody can follow anything we're saying.
I haven't read this arc
or any of this.
And Catwoman's crazy, and she just says meow.
Yeah,
because he thinks Bruce Wayne's gonna see her and realize how much he loves her, but she's a crazy person, and she just tries to murder him.
Hold on. He goes, "It was supposed to be a meet cute. This is not meeting cute." I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the idea is Batman's parents don't die, and if they don't die, all hell breaks loose. And one of the things that I think is important about this, you're right, it doesn't tell Batman and Catwoman anything about themselves.
I'd forgotten it's the first place we really start discussing it.
Yeah,
because we
tells
seen
us
it earlier.
It tells us a couple things about both of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
That,
without Bruce Wayne, Catwoman's crazy?
Yeah, which is interesting.
Well, except that it's because his dad did something, right? Like, that's part of her trauma. Bruce Wayne's dad did something.
Yeah.
I forget what exactly. But
he closed some place that did something. I can't remember what it was.
Orphanage.
Yeah, it was like an orphanage. I forget now. But yeah, it's like there are things that would Bruce Wayne's parents being alive would indirectly affect negatively and make things go south. Here's what I think is really interesting. This also tells us something about how Tom King looks at Batman and how he doesn't look at Batman the way everybody else does. And that's one of the things that you've always said you love about Tom King.
He sees Batman the way I do.
Batman doesn't create all of his villains.
Yes.
Because a lot of them still turn out that way.
Yes.
But without Batman, bad things happen. And, like, Cobblepot becomes the president, and...
Oh, yeah, I told you. I texted you that when I read it. I was like, sure, Cobblepot becomes president.
I was like, what are you talking? And I didn't know what you were doing. What you were doing. Did you know Cobblepot becomes president? Like, in what? What are you talking about? I was like, well, and I don't remember if I texted you this, but the first thing I thought was, I mean, that Gotham show will do anything.
Oh.
That was the first thing I thought of. It's like season 5 Gotham, they do No Man's Land, Cobblepot just goes and be of course. They can't do Lex Luthor in that world, so of course that's what they did.
I don't know what relevance it has to the story.
Yeah.
But the opening of Crazy Hal Jordan, who's like...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Who's like, so this won't let me kill myself.
That was insane.
But is it the greatest test of will if I can make it? And then he blows his brains out!
And it's how it opens. Is that how the arc opens?
This is the first...
Or is that the second issue?
No, that is the opening pages.
And you don't even know you're in the future. You're just like, what is going on?
No, just Hal Jordan explaining...
yeah.
Yep, that's the big rule, but with enough willpower, and let's face it, who's got more of that than me?
And he's just dead.
I'm pretty sure I can get past that rule. Yeah, I don't fully understand that. I don't know why it happened. It's hilarious. I love it.
That's how messed up the world is without Batman, Eric.
Yep.
That's how bad it is. Okay, so getting into the Joker thing, I've got to ask you a question. Go ahead.
Okay, because I think there's a thing you also didn't read from DC Nation #0, which is a lovely little Joker story.
Okay.
So,
well, you talk about that.
Okay, I'll talk about that. So Joker goes to a random guy's house, waiting for the invitation to Batman's wedding, and the entire issue is Joker hanging out with this guy, telling him that if he doesn't get his invitation today, he's gonna murder this man.
What's hilarious about that is that they didn't invite anybody and don't even have a wedding date.
So there's
they never had a wedding date.
There's a clue here.
Okay.
Which Tom Kane's which was
why isn't that in the main run? What is this DC universe? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know, but it's only like 10 pages. It's not like a whole issue.
I bet most people didn't even know to read that.
Yeah.
This is why trade is sometimes better than something.
So there's a clue here that Tom King said he was really worried would blow everything.
Well, it won't, because nobody read it.
Joker says a banana told him. Banana is Bane. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one would have caught that. No one would have caught that. Okay. So
unless
also no one read
spelled banana.
Yeah. So Joker it's just this story where Joker just torments this man, and like they go through like a whole day together. Because like Joker's like, when does your mail come? He's like, I think soon, and like they become like friends, and like he's trying to kill him, and like it's just like a time elapsing.
Not really friends.
No, but like he's like kind of excited for the Joker to get, but like he's also worried because the Joker's like, if I don't get it, I'm gonna kill you.
It's like that animated series episode where the Joker picks up that guy who doesn't want to go back home for Meatloaf Night. You remember that? And he hires him just to hold the door open.
Yes.
It's like that.
Yeah. So he explains because the guy goes.
He gets mad at him because he like flips the Joker off from his car.
Yes.
He's like, "Oh no, it's the Joker."
Yep. So he just like goes like this, and then he's like, I cursed out the Joker, and I was like, you didn't curse him out. That was 5 minutes kid. Anyways,
yeah.
So the guy's like,
censorship, you know.
Why had Batman send an invitation to his wedding, 1 to you,
Yeah.
and 2 to my house. And the Joker says that, of course, Batman would send an invitation because they're like the oldest friends. And he has to send it somewhere. And he has to send it sometime. And I figured, this is somewhere, and today is sometime.
What's really interesting about this is, because I didn't know that existed, that 10 pages in a random issue someplace is the first place where Tom King is writing regular joking Joker.
Yes.
And I think it's in this in this next issue, but it's there. That's weird because because you have a Joker through most of War Jokes and Riddles who doesn't think anything is funny. You don't really get Tom King's take on the Joker. I mean, you get some of his philosophy, but you don't know what Joker in his regular frame of mind, written by Tom King, would be like. We've all been waiting for it. You get it first. There!
The DC Nation is Issue 0.
That's weird!
So the mail comes, and Joker looks through it, and he gets real excited. Because his invitation came.
What?
Okay. So, this guy also says he has to go pick up his daughter from school. And Joker says, because he's like real excited, and the guy says, it's official, I'm invited, and the guy's like, wait, so that's it? You came here, and you're right, you're not upset? He goes, upset? I'm going to the wedding. What does he say? He goes, I'm so happy. And when I'm happy, I kill people. And he blows the guy away. And it wasn't a real letter from Batman. It was a letter saying that this guy has to go to his school to have a parent-teacher conference.
That's really funny.
It is very funny.
One of the things, now that we've gotten to read Tom King's actual take on regular Joker, that I really appreciate is we got a funny Joker.
We have a funny Joker who's sadistic and evil.
Yeah.
But he is funny.
Yeah, and he's intellectually funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the thing is, we always play the Joker as a super genius, and he's good at art and chemistry.
Yes.
And he's,
it's like whoopee cushion humor.
And I buy it. I buy it here. This feels like a guy who not only went to school, probably taught school.
Yeah. Some of that might be Tom King, but he writes a smart Joker, and it's a smart, funny, it's a complex humor sometimes. Like, sometimes it's easy jokes, but sometimes it's a little bit more nuanced.
And this is a good segue. That's why I buy Tom King's take on why Joker does what he does with Batman and why he thinks it's funny. It's one of the best of those, I think.
I agree.
I like it better than Snyder.
Yes, certainly.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and it took a while for me to wrap my brain around it, and then when I figured out the kind of paradox he's playing with, I'm like, no, that's really good.
And it also thematically ties into Batman Can't
It's
Be
wonderful,
Happy.
and I get the sense that he wouldn't have even thought about it if he wasn't telling this Catwoman story.
I think you're right.
I mean, I think that's how he
I
gets
love
to
the
it.
idea that, Joker's like, I don't want Batman to get married to you because then I lose my friend.
Yeah.
I lose my playmate.
That's great, but the whole reason he keeps, we've done this with Joker before, where he thinks he's helping Batman because you need the other side of the coin, but the idea here is he has to keep making sure that Batman's not happy so that he'll keep being Batman, and
every once in a while I have to kill a Joker and shoot a bad girl.
Yeah, but what I think is brilliant about it is this idea that if, in Joker's mind, if only Batman would stop trying to stop the Joker, Joker would kill everyone that he has problems with, and that would make him happy. It's brilliant. That's hilarious. I love that. It's just I have to keep killing people so that, I have to keep killing some people so that Batman will stop me, but and so that he'll never be happy. But what he doesn't realize is that if he just left me alone, he would be happy anyway. It's brilliant. That's so good. I totally believe that. Tom King might have created what I'm starting to see as the definitive version of this character. He did it in 2 issues.
Is it 2? I thought it was 3. Is it 2?
It's 2.
Oh, yeah.
He did it in 2 issues, and isn't it?
Yes, it is 2. It is 2. You're right.
What's 49 then?
Maybe it's not. Maybe the
No, it's 2. It's 2. It's 48 because 47 is the end of the Booster Gold arc.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 48 and 49. Okay, so can I ask you a big question? I thought the reason that Tom King hadn't used the Joker all this time and why we did War of Jokes and Riddles is because he couldn't use the Joker until he came back from Endgame, from Snyder's arc, and we did whatever was going on with the 3 Jokers. Why is he here?
I don't know.
I'm very confused about that.
I also wondered that.
Did you have that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is his arc just... Well, look.
Because suddenly he pops up. Like, why has he never popped up before?
We have... I think he's in Arkham. When Bane's there. Is he not?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that.
Okay.
But I thought that was the whole reason he went back in time with War of Jokes and Riddles, which is so he could actually tell a Joker story. I was very surprised to see him here.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Look, we have at least... I think we can all agree, we have at least another year before Doomsday Clock finishes.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say we have at least a year before we actually get to see
we have at least another year before Doomsday Clock finishes, and then we're gonna get 3 Jokers. So maybe by then, Tom King's run will be done. And he gets to do whatever he wants.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because boy, are they dragging their feet on that 3 Jokers that no one cares about.
Yeah, because Tom King either knows something we don't, or he doesn't and said screw it, and they let him do whatever he wanted to. I don't know.
Maybe it is an editorial thing where they thought 3 Jokers were going to come out earlier, and they're like, okay, you can use the Joker.
Yeah, maybe so. Didn't you think that about War of Jokes and Riddles, that's why it had to be set in the past?
No, because I knew that was originally supposed to be a miniseries, and then they told him no when he had to put it in the main book.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was originally supposed to be a separate miniseries.
Okay, but that still could have been why he said it then, and why he came up with that story in the first place.
Yeah.
Why would you go back and do another 0-year kind of thing?
I don't know. It works great.
No, it's cool. But specifically with the Joker.
Yeah.
It read like, well, we can't use the Joker right now.
Yeah. I didn't think of it that way, but no, I get that makes sense. So Tom King does a thing in these 2 issues, though, that... Okay, so early on, I have this issue where like everything's happened, but the only things we mention are Snyder things.
Yeah.
But here, when Joker and Catwoman are talking, all of Batman's history has happened.
Yep.
Like, he's talking about like the good old days when they're running around. That didn't happen in New 52.
No, that's true, but you can't complain about it here because he's already shown us a lot of that.
No, I know. I want to take those things out of the earlier arcs because it's very clear later that he in Tom King's mind, all of Batman has happened.
Yes.
I don't know if we know, like, his Bane might be a little bit different. Nightfall happened in Tom King's book.
I think so.
And I'm pretty sure No Man's Land happened in Tom King's book.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, we don't reference that. But,
we don't reference that.
But, like, the 70s and 80s happened. The 50s probably happened to some degree.
He keeps talking about...
And Golden Age certainly happened.
Bane keeps talking about breaking Batman's back, and it's never happened anywhere except for except for Nightfall. And Nightfall has to have happened.
But I don't think it's just, like, something like Nightfall. Like, the way we deal with Batman history here, I think Nightfall happened.
But then he's given Bane some somewhat new background where the prison stuff is different.
But I think that's just my interpretation.
Okay.
Like
but you think more or less Nightfall happened?
I think more or less Nightfall
Maybe
happened.
without Jean-Paul Valley, but...
We're getting an Azrael miniseries next year.
We'll see what that's like.
It's by the White Knight guy.
Oh.
I showed you that picture! He posted that thing on Twitter where he's like my next series. Oh, it's that awesome picture of Azrael done in his style.
Oh yeah, no, you told me that. Yeah. But I didn't put it together. Like, oh yeah, what's an Azrael miniseries after Rebirth? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I love the Joker Catwoman exchanges a lot.
Okay.
Because I love how cavalier Catwoman is with the Joker. I love that they've had history. I love that she still, in her mind, walks that line and is able to talk to criminals that way. And especially just the Joker. And, like, you can tell that...
It's like the 60s Batman the movie grown up.
Yeah, it's
Where,
cool.
like, she used to pal around with these people.
And, like, there was something kind of like a little bit wrong and disturbing about that, but also humanized the Joker to a degree. In not a way that doesn't work, but like it was interesting.
Well, and that's a thing that I thought about reading this. I'd forgotten until you brought it up right now. That's the thing I thought about reading this, where I was like, okay, like Joker's always like a force of nature now, but like he used to hang out with other villains and they do things.
Yeah. and he's playing both sides of that and making it work pretty well. But I think Catwoman I think he did that so that Catwoman bridges the gap between the heroes and the villains, and that like the relationship that he has with the Joker kind of helps to make his love for Catwoman and the notion that they might be soulmates make a little bit more sense, because he's always got one toe kind of dipped in that world, even if he doesn't want to think that he does.
And she does too.
And it's cool that King can get away with that while still writing a more optimistic Batman.
And that there's a darkness to her. There's also a line that she could possibly cross.
Yeah. Well, it has before.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't murder a lot, but...
No, but I just mean in working with the bad guys.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But, yeah.
So you want to talk about 50 again?
Yeah.
It's
different. Totally different.
Reed's different.
Reed's very different.
Reading it in its isolation, I was like, it feels like Catwoman's easily manipulated. That was my big complaint. It's like, it feels like all that needed to happen was for Holly to say, yeah, but do you think he'll be Batman if he's happy?
I still think that's a problem.
Okay, because I feel like...
Here's the thing. After realizing that the whole point of this arc is that Bruce Wayne can't be happy and be Batman, I much more appreciate that Catwoman... Like, that felt CW when I read it the first time, and then reading it, like, building up to that, it felt like I much more believed in a theory that she would get to a place where she would decide to do that more as a self-sacrifice. I like that a lot. The problem is, I think the Holly thing is really problematic. I have two big issues with it. I'll just throw it out right now. So, the issue is, Joker said exactly what she says, but she didn't do that when Joker said it.
Okay, so it's kind of rattling around across these three trades, is this idea.
Yeah.
I think it's been kicking around her head. I think Joker saying it made her think about it more, and then her friend said it, and she's like, you're right. I
don't think it works.
Okay.
Ultimately, I don't think it works.
Okay, it works
the
for me
problem
on
is
this
it's
read.
too close to verbatim. Because it plays like she's never really put it in those terms before exactly, and she has, because she's had Joker say it to her exactly like that. We're like, he comes right out and says, he can't be Batman if he's happy. And then she says it. And you'd think that if it was kicking around in her brain, she wouldn't have gotten as close to actually getting to the wedding. I don't buy that someone else has to say it. Furthermore, how does Bane know that's going to work? That's way too easy.
Well,
because he's not probably seen, I don't think, unless he's got like a Divatox periscope coming out of water everywhere and watching them. I don't buy that. I don't think you can say both things. I don't think you can say, well, she's had it rattling around in her brain, and it's been said to her a couple different ways, and now she's thinking about doing it. And Bane goes, all I gotta do is have this girl come say this to her.
Oh, but I can.
Yeah, okay.
It's the death of 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, I guess I'm forgetting that.
Joker's there.
Yeah.
And as is Psycho Pirate and Ventriloquist, going all the way back to the
So he got Joker
trilogy.
to say it in the first place.
This is all, and there's Hugo Strange.
He's been whispering it to them. So I forgot about that.
Yes.
I forgot Joker was standing in there.
Yes.
Maybe I didn't even notice Joker was standing there.
Everyone's here. Also,
Okay.
Batman's there,
No.
and I don't know who that is.
No, that's good. So forget what I said, but I still don't think you would have to get to Holly. I don't think you'd have to get there.
I think it's just the thing that finally breaks it. It's
Yeah,
a
okay.
thing where that person closest to you says the thing you've been thinking.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're right.
I get what you're saying. I don't think you'd have to get that far.
Okay. It played to me.
Well, that's good. But
At least on this reading.
I had that issue the first time I read it without reading the rest of it before that. I still had that.
Okay,
That was
okay.
still a problem. But the Joker thing works then.
Oh, yes.
And Bane like whispering in her ear with a bunch of different characters, and that actually being a manipulation plot that he could actually see happening, as opposed to he just did one thing that led to it. They knew exactly what happened. No, that does work. That's fine.
I also, I've heard people refer to this, and I really like this. This whole thing as Nightfall of the Heart.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's Bane. And, that's pretty good. I like that. I bet he wished he thought of it.
So,
Tom King. I bet he wished he thought of it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's calling it that or not.
Well, yeah, because you couldn't call that from the beginning, or you call the ending.
Yeah, when you wouldn't call issue 50 Nightfall of the Heart. Like,
No.
you don't know what the ending is till you get to it. Okay, can I tell you what my big problem is with issue 50?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm sorry.
That it's a problem that stretches back across all of these. And this is halfway through Tom King's run. He has a 100-issue run. So, like, maybe further will fix it. But you know what's a huge disconnect between these 3 books and the first 3 books? Where the hell has Gotham Girl been? We completely dropped that plot line. Batman was training her. She needed rehabilitation. Where has she been?
I forgot about that, yeah. And if I was reading it all together, I'd be wondering that.
Well, and she's sitting here with the only reason I'd forgotten about her until I got to the final page where she's right next to Bane. Was she working for Bane the whole time?
Did we not? Yeah, and well, I don't know if I buy that, but didn't we write her out somewhere? Isn't there somewhere where she actually leaves?
I thought the last time we saw her was when she was running on crime fighting.
I thought she left for some reason. It's been too long.
You might be right. Now, it's also possible she's not evil and like she's just being controlled by psychopowers or whatever, and that's fine.
Sure.
But where has she been?
Yeah, and we didn't say this. We haven't read the next 12 issues. We're at 62 right now. We've not read all of that. So some of this is likely answered by now.
Yeah. But just reviewing this set of issues, 33 to 50.
And I know he does at least another arc or two in between getting back to the Bane stuff, but the most recent issues I think have had Bane on the cover, so we at least have gotten back to it now.
He outlined what the next chunk of his run is, because the current arc is called Nightmares, and he said he's like this, and then a big Batman event I can't tell you about, and he outlined the issue numbers. Like the issues of this and this is
that the end of his run, or is he still going?
I think he outlined everything to the end because it's like 103 issues because he didn't write issues because of the mutant, the thing with Hugo Strange.
Oh,
he didn't write that.
So write this stuff.
But he personally is going to write 100 issues.
That's great.
Yeah. So
that'd be over 5 years, I guess.
Well, it's double shipping.
So over about 5 years then.
Is that
100 issues?
You're right. Yeah.
That's why I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Otherwise, it would be more like 10 years.
Yeah, I guess
12 a year, so 24 a year.
Just 50 is 4. Yeah.
So about 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Anyway, so no, I'm much happier with 50 now that I've read the rest of that. I mean, it's a gut punch.
It is.
I
know it's coming. It's still a gut punch.
Yeah, and I thought when I first read it that it was kind of a problem that they kept playing it up as a wedding. Here's what I like about it. About calling, and here's the thing: you get to the end of it, and the wedding doesn't happen, but they still call it the wedding of Batman and Catwoman. That's intentional. Batman and Catwoman got married. I would make the argument that they already got married, because I don't. Maybe that doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, Bruce Wayne's not allowed to get married. That can't happen. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's this kind of metaphorical thing where it's they've gotten as close as they're ever going to get. It's not
the wedding of Selina and Bruce.
Yeah. Okay. That was never going to happen.
I see what you mean.
Oh, I also had a question about the legality of the whole thing.
Well, they get the guy drunk and he's not even going to remember doing it or signing it.
Yeah. Why don't they just have a ceremony and sort of elope? Why does it need to be remotely official, given that it's not actually going to be
official
on books anyway? It doesn't matter that you have a real officiant.
Yeah, surely there is a superhero who, you know what?
If you have to keep it secret,
Superman is ordained, right? There's no way Superman's not ordained.
That's a good point.
Superman can conduct weddings.
Yes. If you have to keep it secret and off the books. Now, I realize that he's a super rich person, so it doesn't matter to him necessarily. Although, it should, because if they were actually really married for real, and they got divorced, then she would get some of his assets.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to do it in secret, and it's not going to be on books anywhere, so it doesn't count. So it doesn't matter. Because if they got divorced, nobody knew what happened, so she wouldn't be entitled to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason to make it an official wedding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, it can't be an official wedding because it's not Selina and Bruce getting married. It's two people in costumes that no one knows who they are.
Well, and also, I understand why they can't be married. Because, okay, riddle me this. So my guess is they can't be married because someone will put together Batman and Selina Kyle are together, Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle are together, Batman and Catwoman are together. They're the same people, right?
Yeah.
Right? Follow me? So if Selina Kyle lives at Bruce Wayne's mansion for the next 30 years,
Yeah.
and they're just a solid couple, how is that different? Like, no one's going to put together, like, Bruce Wayne's steadily been dating Selina Kyle for 10 years.
I would make the argument that she'll probably just, like, secretly come in and out in costume every time she leaves.
I buy that. Okay.
That's probably how they do that.
Sure, okay. So, like, they put together like nobody knows.
Again, they're intentionally talking about it like it's the costumed characters getting married.
And so like, if Bruce Wayne throws one of his many, like rich people galas...
Yeah. Is
she
she
won't
there?
be there with him.
Yeah, probably not. But also...
Like, they can't go shopping together? Like, they can't... Like,
yeah.
there's a lot...
She's still a fugitive, basically. Right?
She's
like,
criminal.
She got cleared for the deaths of the 237 people, but or whatever it was. But,
yeah. But, again, in superhero world, stealing things is like a slap on the wrist.
Well, that's true.
Also in superhero worlds, like, murdering, like, 50 people is, like, max, like, 6 months in prison.
Oh yeah, you get out every time. Yeah, there's a point there. Two-Face is out of prison. Okay, did he escape or did he get released? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you read these issues, leave us a comment and let us know what you think of them and where we're going with Tom King's Batman. But try not to spoil too much because we haven't read the next 12 issues. Yeah, I'm still loving this stuff.
No, it's great.
It's just wonderful.
It's great.
And I never thought I'd see... I want to say I never thought I'd see Batman like this before. Or again, Batman's never exactly been like this, but I have the same thing you do, where it feels like my Batman.
Yeah. We'll see how the landing sticks, but, like, I said this the last time. I think I said this when we did more Jokes and Riddles. There's a very strong possibility that this is gonna overshadow Morrison. For, like, this will be my definitive, like, this is my favorite Batman.
Wow, those are big words.
He's more my Batman. Like, I appreciate a lot of stuff about a lot of Morrison stuff, and, like, it's just...
And it's complex and sophisticated.
They're different things.
It's thought-provoking.
They're different things. But this one is more what I really like what Morrison did. This is what I want.
Have you ever read a Batman that makes you think this much, and is this, like...
Fun Batman?
Comic booky?
Yeah.
I mean, Morrison has that, too, to some degree, but I mean, like...
It's a different kind of a thing.
Yeah. When you think that... Like... He walks this line really well, and this isn't exactly what Morrison was doing. Again, Morrison would go back to the really silly comic book stuff, but it always felt like intellectual.
It's sophisticated animated series, right?
It is, but what I was going to say is, you won't realize he's doing anything story-wise with scenes that feel like they're just silly comic romp, and then you get to the end of an arc, and you go back and you look at it, and he goes, and you go, oh, here's all this thematic stuff he was doing with that, where, like, it's couched. You always know Morrison's doing something.
Yeah.
King's not like that. King, you're like, oh, you're just screwing around, and then you go back and you look, and you're like, oh, Kite Man meant something.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Yeah, why I didn't fully get the gift arc until you said like no, what we learned is that Batman's not Batman. Let's see. I was like, oh, that's why that's there. I thought we were just screwing around.
But it feels that way while you're reading it, and that's why, like, it's wonderfully escapist, but then it's more than that. And I think, okay, so I said at the beginning that, and I've changed my tune on this a lot. I said at the beginning that I thought this only read well altogether because it was too decompressed to read it month to month. At this point, I'm at a place with this series where I feel like it's one of the best things I've ever read at being good for both.
Yeah, I agree.
It is
completely.
as good it's nice that it comes out every 2 weeks, but it's as good issue to issue as it is in trade.
He figured out his rhythm after those first 3 arcs.
Yeah. And he knows how to write regular
He knows how to write monthly comics.
He's writing comic books, and that's it. He's writing comics and graphic novels simultaneously.
Well, and I think you could argue that he's not writing graphic novels. He's writing a graphic novel.
Precisely.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's writing.
When I say graphic novels, I mean he might be able to do this again.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
If this is his style, he's going to give us month to month issues and graphic novels. That's what the man will write.
You know what else I feel about him? He is the first person since Morrison, and maybe like even leading up to Morrison, like he's the first person, at least in a very long time outside of Morrison, where I think it makes sense when he finishes working on Batman to then go put it on Superman. We do that all the time. It's like, oh, you write Batman, it's really successful. Go work on Superman. He would write just as...
Now I'm scared to death they won't do that.
He'd write just as good a Superman book as he did Batman book. Scott Snyder did not have that.
I think his sensibilities are as well suited for
now,
Superman.
He is writing a Superman story.
Is he? Remember Snyder did that.
He's the one writing the Superman arc in those Walmart big books.
What?
Yeah. Bendis is writing a Batman story, and Snyder's writing a Superman story.
Snyder, you mean King is?
Sorry, King is writing a Superman story. King is writing a Superman story, and Bendis is writing a Batman story.
I'll read that.
If it ever gets collected.
I'll try to read that.
They're like it's like a 10-page... I think he said it's 12 parts, and it's 10 pages a piece, it's like 120, it's like 6-issue arc.
Hopefully they put that out.
Oh, man, yeah. But yeah.
Well, anyway.
He is the guy that like, reading this in a way that I've never got... Because like, we did with Nolan, too. Where it's like, oh, you did Batman. What? You can probably do Superman, too, right? He can do Superman. I can tell you, looking at his Batman work, he can write Superman.
Now, you could make the case... The other guy that did that okay was Morrison. They just held him back too much.
Well, I think Morrison did do it, but he was just an all-star. Like, Morrison can write Superman. That's what I'm saying. Aside from Morrison, he's the first person in a long time that I believe can write Batman.
I also like at least the beginning of his 52 run.
No,
he did go right from Batman to Superman. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he's still writing Batman.
Well, that's what I mean, though. He's like, yeah, he doesn't leave it, but...
I'm saying aside from...
But you're right, he had done it before with All-Star. Yeah,
I'm saying aside from Morrison,
okay.
He's one of the only
I'm sorry if I missed you saying that.
He's one of the only people that I believe can write both. Not that he can go from one to the other, but that he can write both characters just as well.
Well, but you're also partly saying that because we've seen him write a significant amount of Superman in this book, and I want to read his Superman.
Yes,
his Superman is really good. I want to read his Superman.
I'd also read his Lois Lane.
Oh, yeah. We haven't done a straight-up Lois Lane book in a long time. He'd be the
like
guy.
30 years.
He's the guy, though.
It's 2019. How do we not have a Lois Lane book?
Right now, where's the... Yeah, and not a Lois Lane book where, like, Lana Lang, she suddenly becomes Superwoman, okay?
No.
Not like a Lois Lane that gets superpowers.
Yeah, no, just reporter Lois Lane.
Eric and I are going to go on now to...
And don't call it Lois Lane Girlfriend of Superman.
That I don't think you can get away with, or you want to do right now. That's probably not a good idea. Eric and I are going to move on now to our third and final vault for this omnibus, and we've got some solo stuff to jump back.
Hour 3 of the comic vault.
We're going to try not to make that a full hour, but you know us, who knows? And then we're going to move on to some movies and some TV. So look forward to that. Thanks a lot for watching. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
Thanks for watching. I said that, but bye.